Good morning. Today is February 12th, 2024, and want to talk about proper fertilization of pecan trees and what we're doing this year. We previously had a spreader that worked on the back of our tractor that would fling things in a 360-degree circle. Some parts rusted through and I had a tough time changing them out. The spreader, the holes that close off inside just weren't working, and I wasted a bunch of seed last year. So this new spreader, now it says it's a Kubota, but I believe that this is also a Vicon, V-I-C-O-N spreader. It's in their 400 series, and it's a pendulum spreader. So this arm is supposed to go back and forth and only spread out the back of the spreader. The benefit of this is I'm not going to get fertilizer on my tractor and where it sits and might rust out some equipment. I don't understand these spouts. This is very well. This is a standard one. Looks like there's 12 or 16 available. It will allow you to do some banding applications with a banding spout. That can be good. I know there was some research or something we heard about years ago that potassium and phosphorus are, I think those were the two that are, maybe there's some benefit for band applying those. A benefit of this spreader is that there is some settings on here, and you can go on a website and put in your tractor speed, your settings, knowing your spray width based upon the pendulum spreader, and you can know real good what your output is. For me, when I check out the website, I've got a lot of options that are a little bit difficult to choose from. There's a listing for 10-10-10, and there's a listing for 15-15-15. The fertilizer plant I go to seems to give me the best price. Their product that I can get there, the most concentrated, is 13-13-13. So I might have to extrapolate some data to get a best speed and application method. I'm also going to check into some kind of a GPS based app on the phone for keeping track of where I spread. This is a valve that I can hook up on the tractor, and while the PTO shaft is still spinning, I can turn off the output. So if I'm going from one location to another, I'm not spreading. Sometimes my PTO shaft is a little bit stubborn with shutting off. So that's just interesting there. And how are we going to know what fertilizer to put out? Well, we're going to do some soil samples here, if I've already done them. It's a little bit wet, and I'm in flip-flops, so I didn't go quite as far as normal. You want to use a plastic container for getting soil samples, or certainly not a metal one. Don't use an old galvanized bucket or something, as you might get some different minerals, elements that are going to impact your soil test results. I do use a soil test probe, and the idea is it goes down and you don't get your immediate top layers here, and you get, a good, that's probably 8 inches of a core, and you want to come out, I think they say 10 to 20, but look for, don't trust what I'm saying, but look for directions. I just walk around, and you ideally want to find some ground that's a little bit bare. And so here it's a little bit bare. I'm going to put our probe in, and you can step on it. And then I twist and pull out, and there we see we've got a good sampling of soil that goes down. Now this is near our house, and I know that this is sand that's not native, as we had a bunch of sand put in here, so I didn't sample this area. It's just a path to our front door. But you get a soil sample, good number of these that represent where you're at. If you're on hundreds of acres, which I'm not, you probably need to do several different regions based upon how your soil is. You want to mix these up. Here in North Carolina, the North Carolina Department of Agriculture will run these generally for free. In peak times they charge a fee. I have found them to be too slow. Here February 12th, they're probably weeks if not a month behind, and I don't want to wait that long. There is a soil test lab called Waypoint Analytical. Waypoint is who I utilize. They've got an app you can track your soil samples. I like following my calciums. So Waypoint Analytical has an office 30 miles from here. I can drop these off and I'll have results the next day. They also will test your irrigation water, and they do foliar leaf analysis. So not everybody's going to be near. They're a nationwide company, 7 to 10 branches or so, and but you can mail them and probably get them quicker than an overworked government lab. So now is the time to be taking these samples so that you know what to put out. Maybe save some money with not putting out too much, or adding in some specific micronutrients that might help out things. Probably key is looking at pH and whether you need some extra calcium. I'm a fan of a book, I think his name is Neil Kinsey, Agronomy, I think is in the title of it, and it talks about how to evaluate your soil sample, make sure you've got things flowing, and the calcium-magnesium relationship and cation exchange capacities being pretty important there. So that's what I try and do. If you're a homeowner and this is too much work, a good rule of thumb is to evaluate your pecans and how old they are and what a normal production might be. So this Gloria Gran here, I tend to think of it this size. The maximum production is going to be 100 pounds of nuts maybe. And to get 100 pounds of nuts, you need 1/10 that. The rule of thumb is 1/10 your poundage possible. You need to put that much nitrogen on. So if this tree might give me 100 pounds of nuts, it needs 10 pounds of nitrogen. If you buy a 50-pound bag of 10-10-10, that 10 means there's only 10% nitrogen in the bag, and you need to put out maybe 2 bags for a tree this size. That strikes me as a little bit much, but it's a good rule of thumb. And you want to put that fertilizer around the drip line. Up close here, you don't have there's not a lot of feeder roots, so for me, this is my drip line here. I'm probably going to focus a lot around that tree in this area, and I think a rule of thumb is that your feeder roots can extend out twice as far. So if you just toss with your hand on the outer edges of your tree, you're probably fine. Better if you can use a little handheld spreader, or if you've got something tractor mount, can help you get that going too. So that's our thoughts on how we're managing things here at Pecan Lane with regards to fertilizer amounts, types, how we're spreading this year. And our other big concern is getting our grafting supplies set up. So we're starting to take a look at supplies. So hope this helps you, and hope you have a good pecan year in 24.